Hello, 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 online. I will be going live in about a minute. You know, the reason why I'm wearing two sets of headphones is that I got into trouble. I got into trouble for playing a little bit of music in the background. I got into trouble from Facebook and YouTube. It gave me a copyright violation warning, which means I cannot play a little bit of something in the background. I cannot play an intro. So I'm listening to The Light by Disturbed to kill time. Now, to get me in the mood. There we go. Right. This got me in the mood now. I can't. How am I going to get around this? I cannot play anything in the background as a little introduction. I can't even bring up a screen with something on it. This is crazy. So, thank you very much, YouTube and Facebook, for the copyright violations. This is very kind of you. Very kind of you to let me know. How's it going out there? This is G from the Academy. The Academy will be going live every day very soon with its online coaching, and I'm testing everything. I'm testing everything. I'm getting some interference. There might be too many Bluetooth objects going on around here. Let's see if I can turn off something. Give me a sec. Okay. Let's check these, and I'm going to turn off these phones. Power off. Thank you very much. Okay, so power off and power down. I'll see if that cut. No, I'm still getting some interference, but never mind. I'm going to plow through and keep on with everything. So, how's it going out there? It's a beautiful sunny day in Banska Bystrica. It's so sunny that the contrast has kind of exploded in the picture here. So, oh, by the way, if you can hear me, give me a hi, hello. Give me a thumbs up if you can hear what's going on out there. Let me know that the sound is going across. Oh, okay. Still getting some feedback through the headphones, but never mind. We plow through. How do I get rid of this contrast? There we go. There we go. I think that's a bit better. Right. If you're interested in getting in touch with the Academy, if you have any questions, you can write them in the Facebook chat, which should be to the right side or under the video if you find the video live. Or you can write me through Skype, or you can call in through Skype. If you've got any questions that you want to ask, you can call in through Skype. The Skype handle or the Skype name is GWHNSA. That means Graham William Hendrey Native Speakers Academy. You can type in your questions through Skype, or you can call in through Skype, and I can feed you into the conversation if you like, if there's something you want to talk about. So that's kind of pretty cool with all the technology. I'd like to check and see if this is going out live okay on my Facebook account. So let's jump to my Facebook account and see what the score is there. Looks like it's going out live. Right. Thank you very much for the information. Super cool. What are we going to do every day? Well, we're going to answer questions, provide you with some help, some advice, some guidance, some direction, some tutoring. You can call in about any educational issues you have if you're a student or even teacher and you'd like to discuss your work, your school, your job, if you're frustrated about something, and we all get frustrated about things from time to time, right? So you can call in about that. You can type in your questions about that. If you are studying any particular course and you'd like some advice about how to prepare, I mean, do you really need advice about that? Get the books and read the words and repeat, right? And then do the tests. That's basically how it works. You can then you can ask any language questions that you have. We are a language academy, so if you've got any questions about grammar or words or phrases that that you'd like more information about, if you've got any questions about the tense elements, the conditional elements of language, the formal phrasing of the language, if there's anything that you don't understand, if you've got some homework and you need a little bit of help with that, so I'll be happy to help out live, online, free. All you have to do is type a little hello, hello, hello into the chat box. Let me just test everything is working by typing that in. Hello, hello, hello. There we go. That works. Nice to have some technology that works, I suppose. So, what else are we going to discuss today? As I said, this is a preparation session for going live in the future every day. You should be able to read it on the page. It says online and live Monday to Friday, either in the mornings or the evenings. I'm trying to set a fixed time, but it's pretty hard with my timetable and my work at the moment to set a fixed time every day. I hope to do Monday, Wednesday, Friday in the mornings, live, online, free coaching for you, and Tuesday, Thursday in the evenings. We will cover news, information, comment, analysis, reviews, and we will also provide workshops, seminars, coaching, and tutoring. We try to point you in the right direction. If you'd like further assistance from the school, you can send me a message, hey, through Facebook, like someone has done right now, which says, hi man, I'd like to learn English and I want to talk to you about opportunities. That's great. That's a message I just got from Michael. Michael's asking, what will be the best and when and where can we meet? So I do consultations online on Skype, so you don't have to leave your home. Or you can come to my office, which some people like to do. In the future, everything is going to be online. It's a digital world, so you better get ready for a digital future. If you want to see what the sessions look like, if you want more information, then behind me, on the screen, you should be able to see our homepage, www.nsa-slovakia.com, and if you scroll down the page, you will be able to watch some videos where I explain more about what happens in the school. As a reference, there are some short promo videos about Skype sessions. There's a little bit more about the language therapy, and there's some other videos as well. You also find links at the top and at the bottom. Let's go right down to the bottom. Let's go all the way down. And you can link to our YouTube, our Facebook, and Pinterest right there. How cool is that? Or you can go right back up to the top and you can click on the free courses if you want more course information. Nice to be able to provide something for free, to give something back to the world. So if you've got any questions about language, if you've got any questions about your studies, if you're a teacher or a student and you'd like more support with what you do, that's possible. If you're doing another job and you're looking for some kind of professional development tips, if you're looking for how to take the next step in your work or your career choices, then I'll be happy to answer your questions or discuss that with you. If you're watching this online right now, give me a thumbs up or type in a hello into the box because I need to know that the audio is going out okay on the other side as I try to give a presentation and control all of the technical stuff at the same time, which I like doing actually. The technical thing is nice. It's nice that you can be in one place and project yourself through the technology into other places. This is the future. Facebook is going to be all live videos in the future. It's like if you've seen the Harry Potter series of films where they have the newspaper. The newspaper is live and moving images. And that is basically what is going to happen to the news of the future. It's all going to be live and moving images. And so you're going to have to get ready for that. It's something which we just can't stop. So there you go. Can't stop till you get enough. Exactly. So what's next? Work. Talking a little bit about work. Talking a little bit about finding solutions to work problems. Talking a little bit about dealing with bosses, colleagues, employees, laws and rules and regulations. That'll all come into things. Things that are getting on my nerves. There's always something, isn't there always something that gets on your nerves? Isn't there always something that somebody does? Or maybe you're just chilled, relaxed, and you don't have a problem with anything like that. Maybe you just like to take a step back and listen to people. That's fine, but I find in the world there's always something going on. There's always something that gets on my nerves. So, and it usually changes from week to week. So what's getting on my nerves this week is something that's been getting on my nerves for a while. This is people who only try to contact you through calling your phone. Now, I'm a busy person. So my phone is silent or off most of the time because most of the time I'm giving presentations, I'm traveling, I'm being with people, I'm working, I'm doing counseling, I'm doing one-to-one and group sessions, I'm helping people out. So to stay focused, I turn off the notifications on my phone. And people are always saying, "Oh, we tried to get in touch with you, we tried to contact you, we tried to call you, and you didn't answer." Yeah, of course I didn't answer because I was busy. I'm not spending my life waiting for someone that I don't know or maybe even know to call me. I'm not wasting my time. I'm getting on with doing things. And so if someone is trying to reach me by calling me and they can't get through to me, well, let's think, how about writing a text message? That would take about 30 seconds, I think. You can even write your message into Google Translate now if there's a language issue, and you can translate it and copy and paste it into the message and send the message. You can do that through most phones. So hell, that's what I do sometimes. So there's no reason why you can't write a message to somebody. Or if you want to be more serious, write an email. It's a much more serious form of communication, and tell someone that an issue is important to you and you're prepared to spend a bit more time on it rather than just a quick call. And there's those situations as well where people get caught playing telephone tag, where one person is calling from one side and they can't reach the other person. They try to call back and can't reach and can't reach and can't reach and can't reach, and so it goes on. So I like the anchor of the message. I like the anchor of the message of the SMS or the email. Or you could Skype or send a message through Facebook, or there's so many ways now. So if one more person I mean, these are educated adults. If one more educated adult says, "I tried to call you and I couldn't get in touch with you," and that's all they do. If one more person does that, I'm not interested. I'm not interested in meeting you if the best that you can do is the absolute minimum to get in touch with me. Really, I'm not. It's not worth the effort. You've got to show that you're interested in progression. You've got to show you're not going to give up easily. You've got to show you're going to put in the effort if you want to have the success. So that's something to think about. Maybe some of you out there have had that problem as well. There's nothing wrong with turning off your phone, right? There's nothing wrong with having some downtime, turning off the notifications. I know Facebook is very addictive. I know the little red bubble with the number of people who have commented on something is irresistible. Um, that's the power of the technology. And the people who created the technology know that it's irresistible as well. We all search for connection. We all search for human interaction. And this is just one example of a company using the basic human needs to run a business, to make a business online. So you can't you can't get away from that fact, whether it's Facebook or whether it's Twitter, which I'm not using because it's just way too much for me. I've got other things I have to do in my life, so I'm not going to devote everything in my life to the digital sphere of things. I know that a lot of people are using WhatsApp for communication, for calling and for messages and pictures, and I think you can also do video calls with that as well. I mean, what's people's preference? What's your preference? What's your favorite way and probably easiest, most convenient, cheapest way? What's the best way to contact people? Is it just through Facebook? Is it through Skype? Is it through WhatsApp? Is it through some other service? I don't really like Instagram very much. Although I appreciate the fact that it exists and people produce some very interesting stories on it. That and what's the other one? Snapchat. That's it. So I haven't really got into that, and I don't think I'm going to go down that road because otherwise you just spend all your time playing with the tech and presenting yourself in a way which is slightly unreal. But it's nice to have the opportunities to be creative. So, where are you today? Are you at work? Are you at home? Are you studying? Are you feeling fit as a fiddle? Are you taking some time to relax? Are you healing? What's up in your world? You can always write a comment in the Facebook chat to let me know how it's going on your side. So I have some articles that I'd like to get into. So I might dive into these articles and see how this works with the online systems. Yesterday I was late for a meeting. Now, people who know me, people who know me, people who really know me, they know that I'm never late for meetings. If I'm late, it has to be like there's a volcano has exploded or some other unforeseen event has happened. I've been attacked by 1,000 wild gorillas or something like that. So, which thankfully hasn't happened and probably won't. So they'll know that not the gorillas, the people people will know that I'm never late. And I was late yesterday. It just seemed to me that time was going forwards twice as fast as normal. And this led me to thinking about how time works in terms of organization. I mean, have you ever had the experience where time flies? Like you're talking to friends and then suddenly you have to go because you have to be somewhere else. Or you're in a pub and yeah, it's closing time, the bar closes. Or you've had that situation where time flies. Maybe you've also been in a situation where time travels, you feel that time's going really slowly. Where you're sitting, you're looking at the clock, you're watching the seconds, and it feels like a minute between each second as the clock is ticking around. So time, from a psychological perspective, um, it does seem to speed up and slow down a little bit, especially as you get older in life. When you're young, you seem to have a whole world of time in your hands. And yet as you get older, this changes and changes and changes and changes. And things just seem to go faster and faster and faster and faster and faster. Just imagine a wheel on a car just going faster and faster and faster and faster. That's pretty much how life is. So I'm going to get into some articles about time and concepts of time, and hopefully relate it to health, and maybe you can relate it to your work or your studies as well. Again, if you're out there, give me a thumbs up, give me a heart, give me a hi, give me a smiley face, oh, thank you very much for the thumbs up. Much appreciated, always appreciated. There we go. So, what am I doing? I am going to go to the articles. Right. Those who are interested in health and know me will know that I follow the work of Dr. Mercola. And so the first article that we're going to have a look at comes from the Dr. Mercola website. It should be, close the advertisement here. So we're at mercola.com. Now it's looking a bit small. Maybe I can increase the size of the article. That looks a little bit better. So Mercola is asking the question, can you make time pass more quickly? Can you make time pass more quickly? It's a pretty interesting question to ask, because as I've already said, there are periods of time when it actually feels like time is passing more quickly. It actually feels like everything is going extremely fast, but it's really not. But we're able to change our connection with time. Let's see what Mercola says. Let's read through this together. People tend to think of time as moving along a fixed linear pathway. But in reality, time, including how fast or slow it moves, is all a matter of perception. This is why watching a movie you love may feel like it flies by, while to another person who finds the movie boring, it moves tediously slow. Yep, I know that feeling. I remember going to watch some film with Madonna, and after 20 minutes just wanting to walk out of the cinema, which serves me right for going to watch a film with Madonna in it. So there we go. Let's continue. Other peculiarities have also been observed. Now, if you're one of my language students, you want to be using correct English. You can observe the different tenses that are in the article. There you go. Other peculiarities have also been observed, such as how time seems to move faster as you get older, and it's possible to lose track of time entirely if you're engrossed in a task. Oh yeah. Like sometimes I get so engrossed in my work that It's true. It's true. It happens. Um, Likewise, when French geologist Michel Siffre, excuse my French pronunciation, conducted an isolation experiment in the 1960s, it showed that our perception of time can change depending upon our circumstances. How true it is. So he lived in a dark cave alone for 2 months, but when his team came to get him, he thought he had only stayed for 35 days. Further, when he counted off an estimation of 120 seconds while living in the cave via a phone that only worked one way, he counted for a full 5 minutes. So what that's saying is what he thought was 2 minutes was actually 5 minutes. His time was traveling more slowly. Probably naturally because he was disconnected from the world around about him. What are your experiences of time? What are your experiences of time? Are you always on time or in time? There's a prepositional thing, right? On time is exactly at the right time. And in time is before the time. So me, I'm always 99% of the time. I'm in time. It's good to be on time. It's great to be in time. It's great to have time, actually. Time is all we have. Yes, I know. In an interview with Cabinet Magazine, Siffre said, I psychologically experienced 5 real minutes as though they were 2. There was a very large perturbation in my sense of time. My psychological time had compressed by a factor of 2. Perturbation, that's a pretty interesting word. Search Google. No, I'm not going to search Google for that. But I will. I might actually. Little tricks and tips. Define. Did I copy the word? I can't remember. Perturbation. Perturbation. Was that the word? Let's have a quick check. Define perturbation. Anxiety or mental uneasiness. That's probably way too small to read, right? Perturbation, anxiety or mental uneasiness, a deviation of a system or process from its regular or normal state of path. A deviation from what is normal. Interesting. Okay. So, it's also interesting, being a native speaker, people tend to think that native speakers understand every single word in the language. We don't. Native speakers have as many problems as non-native speakers. Relatively as many problems, because you should be reading at a level which challenges you. So you should always be encountering new words and new language. One of the things that I like to do with words and language is take a word. Here's a language point. Take a word and I've got a message. One moment. I'm going to pull up the dictionary of etymology, which should be in my list. Dictionary of etymology. There we go. We'll bring it up, and I'm going to paste in perturbation and see what the dictionary of etymology says, meaning from French, disturbance or confusion. From Latin, okay. So what else is going on online? Yanka says, hello Yanka. Yanka says, that reminds me of the story about the man who came to a cave found an old man, started playing chess with him, and spent the night there. When he left in the morning, he realized that 7 years have passed. My God, he must have been really pissed off, right? He's just kind of lost 7 years of his life, right? That or he must have really loved chess. One of those two things, I suppose. So, Dictionary of Etymology online, very useful. Right. Let's continue. Time doesn't exist outside of our own experience of it, which gets into the psychological idea that time, in essence, does not exist without us. Therefore, there's a relationship in creation between us and time. If we were not here, would time exist? Does it matter? Who cares? You could just ask that, couldn't you? Right? Let's continue. It's interesting to note when Sifri was asked what he thought caused the dramatic disconnect between actual time and his perceived psychological time, he said, was he French? Was he French? Do my French accent. That's a big question that I've been investigating for 40 years. It's called German. It's more German than French. I believe that when you're surrounded by night, the cave was completely dark. With just a light bulb, your memory does not capture the time you forget. When you are surrounded by night, your memory does not capture the time. That's the key point he's talking about. When you are surrounded by night, your memory does not capture the time. So is there a relationship between light and time? Probably yes. Is that why we sleep better in the dark? Well, it's just because the light disturbs us, I suppose. In some ways, what he experienced is similar to what happens when you're immersed in an activity you love and suddenly realize you lost track of the time. In The Atlantic, senior editor James Hambin, MD, wrote, "We conceptualize time through metaphors that project it along a straight line. Before and after, long and short, earlier and later, as a function of how our perceptions relate to other perceptions. In the same way, the accuracy of any clock is only relative to other clocks. And even a stopped clock tells the right time twice a day." Anthony Burgess, Clockwork Orange. Right. Time. I'll tell you my experiences of time. My experiences of time are that the body time and the mind time appear to be different. The body time and the mind time appear to be different. What does this mean? Okay, imagine a straight line. Right? Where's the camera? Imagine a straight line. Well, your body's going in this direction. Second to second, minute to minute, hour to hour, day to day, in one direction. But the mind can bounce around. It can jump. It can go forwards. You can project into tomorrow. You can remember yesterday. So the mind has this ability to overstep the physical boundaries of time. I wonder if there's more to it as well. I don't know. What do you think? What do you think? Do you think it leads to the idea of time travel, and it's interesting because you go back in time 150 years. Most of what we have today was completely impossible. In fact, you were probably burned to death if you suggested that there would be planes flying, or that there would be something called telephones or the internet or cars traveling as fast as they do today, or I don't know, just most of the things in the world around about us. Yeah. Oh, he's a he's a I don't know, witch. Can you have male witches? I guess you can. Um, burn him! Burn him! Burn the witch! Burn the witches! Um, or do other things to them. So it's interesting to look at that concept. You also have the idea that physicists have been able to make particles disappear in one area and reappear at another point, another place, almost instantaneously without traveling directly physically between those two spaces. I mean, what does that mean? What does that what does that mean that's possible? I mean, obviously we can transfer documents now through the internet. We can project these videos, which are sort of there's kind of holographic projections of ourselves if we ourselves are not holograms as well. I mean, we can transfer all these documents through the internet. We haven't got to the next level, which would be taking something like this banana, which I'm eating. You know, bananas are funny for some reason. I've never been able to work out, but some foods are funny and some are not. Some are not. Bananas appear to be funny. All right. So at the moment, are you hungry? Would you like some? Well, you can't have any because we haven't developed the technology yet. Well, not that I know about. Excuse me. If you don't feed the body, mine doesn't work so well. Right. Where do we get to? The accuracy of any clock is only relative to other clocks. What would we do without clocks? Have you ever thought about that? What would we do? What would we do without clocks? I mean, how would you get up at the right time? How would you get to work? How would you meet your friends? How would you catch the start of the game? How would you get your train, your plane, your bus, whatever, without a clock? What a fantastic invention. How would you get anywhere without clocks? I mean, everything would just be a mess. Are you one of those people that can wake up without an alarm clock? Who are those people that can wake up without? I know people who say, "Oh, I just think 5 o'clock and I automatically wake up at 5." And what does that mean? How do you know it's 5? Does that mean you're not really sleeping and you're still sort of conscious? Does the body have a clock? And how does the body clock relate to the real clock of time? Does anybody have any answers? Do you have any answers? If you want to discuss this topic or any other topics, you can write in the chat box, as Yanka has already done. Thank you very much, Yanka. And if you're following this online, if the audio is going out okay, because Facebook doesn't have a way of checking the audio, if it's going out okay, give me a thumbs up, give me a heart, give me a smiley face. Not that many options. Perhaps there'll be more in the future. Let me know that it's going out okay on your side. Are you catching this on a desktop? Are you catching this on a tablet? Are you catching this on your mobile? I'm imagining that most people are on their mobiles. If they're not in their office, tied to their chair, glued to their desk, fixed to their computer for their daily work. Remember, you can contact me. You can write me a message through Skype. You can call in. If you're interested, GWHNSA, you can call in and we can discuss the topic. You can tell me what you think. You can tell me that I'm crazy, and I will probably agree with you. So, keep it going. Keep it moving. Because time doesn't clearly exist outside our own experience of it, there are ways to manipulate that experience. It's all in the mind. You will find it in the mind. He used Sifre's experience with time after sensory deprivation as one example. Sensory deprivation, interesting phrase. Deprived of sensory information, as well as the hallucinogenic drug peyote, which is known to cause changes in sense of time, such as time passing more slowly. As another. Does that even make sense? Oh, yeah, it does. Okay. Being diagnosed with a terminal illness can also change your perception of time. Yeah, it'll scare the shit out of you and make you get everything done extremely quickly, I think. So, yes. What's that character? There's a character from Nemo that speaks really slowly. Okay. I'm always reminded of that. Dory, is it? I don't know. Whatever. Who cares? Nobody cares. Right. It's a great Robbie Williams song. Somewhere beyond the sea. Somewhere. Yeah. Anyway. Call in. Tell me to stop singing. Write it in the chat. I can't generally advise spending years on peyote or full-time isolation in a cave. No shit, Sherlock. He noted. The most practical examples of manipulating time perception come from the common observation that the more we think about time, the slower it goes. The more we think about it. That's interesting. In his treatise, The Principles of Psychology, William James wrote, "A day full of excitement, with no pause, is said to pass ere we know it, before we know it. On the contrary, a day of waiting, of unsatisfied desire for change will seem like a small eternity." Yes, the eternity of unrequited love. How are you out there? Are you doing all right? Have you got yourself some water? Are you hydrated? You know, it's quite warm out there today. Right. How are we doing? What do you think about time? You don't have time for time. It's possible. It's possible. Okay. Depression slows down time. Flow makes you lose track of it. So basically what we're looking for in our life is flow. We're looking for connectivity of ideas that allow us to perhaps lose track of time. Lose track of time. Isn't time a great fear for a lot of people, where people fear the future? They fear what will come. They fear things that are irrational and have not yet happened, basically. Alan Burdick, author of Why Time Flies, revealed that when you're busy, you tend to sense time as going faster than when you're bored. Similarly, a study on more than 800 people revealed people with depression reported a slower subjective experience of time. As for why depressed people may feel time is dragging, it could be due to a slowing down of the internal clock, or because they have difficulty being in the present moment or entering a state of consciousness known as flow. It's interesting that the way that things connect. Last night I was listening to a podcast, one of the Lewis House School of Greatness podcasts, where the guest was talking about flow in activities and how progress comes when we achieve flow, no matter what kind of activity that we're in. He also talked about taking lots of drugs as well. Don't really agree with that one. Flow, according to psychologist Mihaly yeah. Okay, I'm going to call him Mike because there's no way I can pronounce that. That's the most unpronounceable name in human history. Flow, according to psychologist Mike C, is the secret to happiness and occurs when you're completely absorbed in an activity, often one that involves creativity. That's why artists use their art to get those inner demons out of themselves. When you're immersed in flow, your sense of time becomes distorted because nearly all of your brain's available inputs are devoted to the activity at hand. If you're depressed and unable to fully give your attention at the present moment, and as a result find time is agonizingly slow, mindfulness-based therapies may be very helpful, particularly in cases of a depressed perception of time. Yeah, you want to ask yourself, where am I now? How do I feel now? And what is my connection with the past? What is my connection with the past? How do I relate to that? Have I moved on? Have I progressed? Am I at the same point or am I at a different point? You need to reflect on your own experiences there. Interestingly, mindfulness, which is the mind on the mind, basically, mindfulness can also be harnessed to slow down your perception of time while helping you to appreciate your surroundings. I'm always telling people to be aware, be open, be conscious of what's going on around about you. You know, people are just turning themselves off from the world right now. They're sticking in their earphones and their heads down, and they're staring at their phone. They're not really absorbing what is happening in the environment around about us. And you need to, because the world is a pretty amazing place if you take the time to have a look at what is happening around about you. So, you know, try to take a couple of seconds when you go outside. Look around, breathe the air, check out the wind. Is there a wind there? Have a look for anything natural that's in your environment. Check out the trees and the bushes and the flowers and all those wonderful elements of creation that we tend to lose track of if we live in cities. You know, take time to stop and have a look around. Okay, moving on. That's a horrible advertisement. Right. How busy you are may alter your perception of time. No, really. When I'm okay, it's just so obvious, right? Let's move through this really quickly. Are you okay out there? Are you okay? You still with me? Right. There's how much more have we got to go? Let's check this article. 1, 2, 3. Oh my gosh. Okay, that's an advertisement for a book at the bottom. So there's 3 more paragraphs. We'll get to the end, and we'll do. How long have we been online? Been online for about an hour, right? Is it an hour? 48 minutes. There we go. How busy you are may alter your perception of time. If you're too busy flying through your daily routines on autopilot mode, you feel like your day is over in the blink of an eye. Neuroscientist David Eagleman, I can pronounce that, adjunct professor at Stanford University. What's an adjunct professor? Explained that your mental engagement changes your perception of time, and when you're engaged in mundane activities, boring activities, your brain isn't taking in much new information. What's an adjunct professor? What is that? Define. see, nobody knows everything. Define adjunct professor. An adjunct professor is someone who is hired by a college to teach but isn't a full-time member of the faculty. Well, stand-in, basically. This is a word you can figure out by taking it apart from add and junct, join. Think junction. That's a silly definition, right? As a result, time seems to pass quickly. One of the areas of the brain responsible for emotion and memory is the amygdala. The more detailed the memory, the longer the moment appears to last. This is one of the reasons why it can feel forever when you're stuck in traffic. But your memory of the event will be that it passed quickly, as you didn't lay down any new memory. This is where mindfulness comes in, as by helping you stay in the moment, it can seemingly slow down the passage of time. You don't want the passage of time to slow down if you're in traffic. Anyway, Stephen Myers, a clinical psychologist and professor of psychology at Roosevelt University in Chicago, told the Huffington Post, mindfulness allows people to appreciate their surroundings and can lead to the feeling that time is passing more slowly. Paying attention to events that are pleasant or interesting certainly can enhance our mood and allow us to savor positive experiences. Look, there's a picture of a cat. Mindfulness may help you slow down time. I'm going to get something in the future to cover this side of the screen because I hate the advertisements. Focus! Okay, I'll focus. Practicing mindfulness means you're actively paying attention to the moment you're in right now, rather than letting your mind wander. When you're mindful, you're living in the moment and letting distracting thoughts pass through your mind without getting caught up in their emotional implications. I heard that described once as mindfulness is like sitting at a window looking down at a road, imagining that the traffic on the road are your thoughts and that you can meander and wander in and out of the traffic. As long as you don't get run over, I suppose. You can add mindfulness to virtually any aspect of your day simply by paying attention to the sensations you are experiencing at the present moment. How do you feel right now? Techniques sometimes used to become more mindful include paying focused attention to an aspect of sensory experience, such as the sound of your own breathing. Wow. You ever listen to the sound of your own breathing? Distinguishing between simple thoughts and those that are elaborated with emotion, such as I have a test tomorrow versus what if I fail my test tomorrow and I flunk my entire class and then I know. Reframing emotional thoughts as simply mental projections so your mind can rest. That's very interesting. Stop mentally projecting. Mayers added in the Huffington Post, time can slip by because we are blindingly going through the routine of our day. Oh. Like anyone who has to go to the same office, sit in the same chair, the same desk with the same people. You know what I'm talking about. There are a range of remedies for the situation. Some people may feel a sense of accomplishment if they set personal goals for themselves and work towards them in a purposeful way. Those goals do not include annoying the people around about you, I would add. Although that might be fun. Others may need to be on the lookout for certain events, like appreciating kind behavior from another person to punctuate time passing, or to contemplate why the other person is being kind to me at all, I would add. Staying busy may benefit your brain. Oh, this is like Work. The last paragraph is like work. Keep busy. Keeping a packed schedule may make it feel like your days fly by. You want to see my diary? You want to see my schedule? You want to see my timetable? No. There you go. Look, it's flying by. Oh, you can't see it because of the contrast. Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha. Right. I can play with that and change that, but who cares? I'll make it darker. See, I can turn off the sun. No, that still doesn't help. Never mind. Who cares? It's already too bright. Stay on track. Get to the end of the article. Otherwise, people will sleep. Okay, that's true. Keeping a packed schedule may make it feel like your days fly by, particularly if you don't make it a point to be mindful, but doing so may offer significant benefits to your brain. Research published in Frontiers by Aging Neuroscience. It's not aging, is it? Agging? It must be aging. Suggests that the saying, the busier the better, is true, at least as far as cognition is concerned. Greater busyness. Oh, look, that is a word. I was looking at that. I was wondering if that was a word the other day. Like, business is with an I, and busyness is with a Y. Okay. You want to be doing business, not busyness. Greater busyness was associated with better cognition, particularly for episodic memory. It didn't matter if the study participant was 50 or 89 years old. Having a busier schedule was linked to improving memory and better brain processing, reasoning, and vocabulary. Busier is better. The researchers pointed out busy people have increased opportunities for new learning. Well, they might not because they're busy all the time, so they won't have time. Which has been shown to promote the retention of new neurons in the brain's hippocampus. In addition, busyness could promote the development of neural scaffolding and consequently facilitate cognition, according to the researchers, while promoting the development of brain reserves and use of more efficient cognitive processing. There are downsides to being overly busy, you don't say. Of course, like chronic stress, that's a big downside. And burnout, same thing basically. Along those lines, healthy eating is often one of the first things to suffer when life gets busy. So it's important to stick to the basics in this regard. Focus on filling your plate with real unprocessed foods, preferably organic and locally grown, and avoid resorting to convenience and fast foods. Can you read that? Put it up there for you. Convenience and fast foods, energy drinks, or excessive amounts of caffeine. However, a busy lifestyle can also be a positive one, particularly if you stay mindful and engage in activities that lead to flow. The more engaged you are, the more you may feel as though you're living your life beyond the constraints of time instead of by them. Thank you very much. So, what are your thoughts on time? What are your thoughts? What does it mean to you? What is important to you? How should we spend our time? Do we spend time? Why do we use the verb spend with time? What kind of value does it have in our life? Are you organized? Are you organized from minute to minute, day to day? Do you plan in creative time? Do you just let things happen? Something to think about. Anyway, so that was Dr. Mercola. The article was entitled Can You Make Time Pass More Quickly at mercola.com. There's also another article, which I didn't get to today, which, thank you very much, Mr. Mercola. is a teach your brain to stretch time. That's another article I would recommend if you're interested in getting advantages of time, or at least knowing more about that, or being mindful of it, in fact. So, do I have a final thought to finish with? My final thought to finish with is I've got lots of articles that I wanted to talk about, but I'm not going to get to them all today because I'm only going to do 1 hour. I'll share what else was on my mind. I might come back to them later. We've got the AHA parenting, why punishment doesn't teach your child accountability is really good. Letting students study what they want was also something I didn't get to. Interesting articles. So, if you've got an article you'd like me to read, cover, comment on, then put a link in the box next to this video, and I will try to cover it. Remember, you can join our Facebook group. The first 100 people to join the Facebook group, the Academy of Language Therapy and Life Coaching, will get all the coaching materials for free, which is pretty cool, really. You can follow the link that's on our website, our home site, or you can you can just type this the Academy of Language Therapy into Facebook. You can also join us on YouTube, where we have over 750 videos on education and coaching and life therapies, etc. We're also on Pinterest. Final thoughts. Now I know not many people are going to get to the end because the article was too much of something which they're really not interested in. So I get that. You're supposed to make it short and sweet. Nothing more than 5 minutes. Yeah, but then you don't really get into anything, do you? Should I set a 5-minute limit on each article? Because that means I'll spend 10 minutes on it. Should I do that? I don't know. Is that going to work out? How should I plan the hour-long session? What should I have in an hour session? Why don't you let me know? What should I do? What would work for you? What do you need? What's going to help you out there with your skills? You'll teach us some grammar. No, I'm not going to go down the grammar teaching road because I've already done that. I've spent years doing that, and there's a billion people on YouTube doing the same thing, and most of them doing it better than me. So I just leave them to do that, and that's cool, right? So a final thought today. I'll tell you what someone said to me this morning, which made me think. Someone said to me, "What the eyes don't see, the heart doesn't feel." What the eyes don't see, the heart doesn't feel. I thought about that. I thought, that's so wrong. That's so wrong, because that just means you're not connected. You're not connected to what's going on around about you. It's like saying, oh, it's okay to do things as long as people don't see it. If they don't see it, they won't know about it. No, they'll feel it. And if they can't feel it, they're not connected to you. So be conscious of everything that you're doing and everything the people around about you are doing as well. Be as conscious of it as you can, because it's all important. The seconds build the minutes, build the hours, build the days. Each act has an incredible effect, an incredible probable effect on the future. You never really know what spark is going to start the biggest fire. So that's something to think about. That's just my thought on it. So I've done all the educational stuff. I'm now looking at ways that I can maybe do a few other things. Those who know me know that I'm a very graphic person. I'm interested in, is all the information going out okay? Can you see everything on the screen? Is there something that we can improve? Um, Look, there's space for something. There's space for something in the bottom right side of the screen here. What is there space for? A stick in another camera? Something to think about. Anyway, thank you very much for paying attention. Give me a thumbs up, smiley face, kick in the ass, whatever you like. This went out live on my personal Facebook channel. It will also be reposted to my other channels on Facebook, and it will also appear later on YouTube as well. Wherever you are, whatever you're doing,